humans? It's just Martine, and today I'm going to share with you 5 ways that I stay relatively relaxed and composed during the most stressful times of my life, especially as I approach finals week next week. These tips are, of course, applicable to students, but they're also applicable to non-students. I feel like for some reason, even people who aren't students right now and thus aren't approaching exam season are really struggling at the current moment. We're just all trying to make it to summer, even though summer doesn't matter for a lot of people. We're still reaching for that space. So I'm going to give you 5 of my best tips to help and cope with that. This is not going to make you stress-free. This is not going to take away your anxieties, but hopefully one of these will help you manage, because these things all help me manage. And that's all we can ask for at this point. There are, of course, the general tips that you hear, you should be taking care of yourself, you should be drinking water and eating good food and exercising and all that stuff. But what else is there to help you? You've gotta wonder. I wonder. Sometimes I'm like, how do I stress out less? And then I watch these videos that say the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm trying to tell you things that you aren't hearing other places. Let's see if I can do it. Number 1, get the anxious energy out. So this is kind of related to a commonly shared tip where people say, exercise. But the word exercise is not my favorite word for a couple of reasons. One, some people just simply can't exercise as well as other people, whether it be due to their skill in exercising or their conceptions of what exercise are or their chronic health conditions. Some people, just exercise is a bad word to us. So I offer you that there are other fun ways that are technically exercise to get your energy out that are going to help. For those of us who don't think that it's in the slightest bit relaxing or anxiety relieving to be lifting weights or running on a treadmill or something like that. Personally, my favorite way to get this anxious energy out is to dance around my room. This could be calm dancing, this could be crazy, hectic dancing. It all depends on how much energy you have to put into this. Sometimes I just need to lose my mind a little bit to get the anxiety out. Hopefully my demonstrations will help you feel better about your dancing. As a reminder, you, unlike me, are not putting this on the internet, so go crazy. Sometimes I also just need to get the wiggles out. If you've watched one of my vlogs before where I've had like a presentation for class or something that day, then you know exactly what I'm about to do. Got it. Number 2, have a place to write your thoughts down. Let me show you my favorite journal, the most helpful journal. It's just a random journal. The design has nothing to do with it, although this one is shiny, but this is my brain dump journal. Typically, I feel like with my anxiety or my stress, there are a lot of thoughts swirling around my head and I suddenly think of things that I have to do, and it's all just a little too much all at once, and I'm usually trying to focus on something else or trying to remain calm or whatever, so this brain dump journal becomes my very best friend. Because say I have a thought and I keep thinking of things that I have to get done. I remember, I have to call this person to set up an appointment. I have to turn this thing in. I have to talk to this person about this other thing. Then you just feel that anxious energy building up in your chest. Well, you don't have to hold on to it. You can write it down. So this is my go-to place to write things down. I make master to-do lists. I make random notes, all those things. I just get all of my thoughts out somewhere on paper so my brain doesn't have to hold them anymore and I can let go of the anxiety. And of course, if you're worried about forgetting these things, then set a designated time where you go through the notes that you wrote down and you categorize them based on like to-do list or something. But in general, just put it on paper so your brain doesn't have to hold it, because then your whole body holds it and it's not good. Number 3, you gotta rework your intentions. Intentions are a big thing for me. There have been lots of people in my life who remind me about intentions, and sometimes you're just so stressed that you neglect to consider your intentions. So really, you still have intentions. They're still within you, but they're not the right ones. So let's say I'm thinking to myself, I have to work on my take-home final this afternoon. So if I think that, and that's as much direction as I give myself, then my intention will be I'm going to sit there and I'm going to work on it and I'm going to get it done, blah, 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 losing my mind, right? But if I go, all right, this afternoon I'm going to have maybe a frustrating but ideally relaxing study session in which I work on my take-home exam. I'm going to set some music that helps me to focus or that makes me happy if I don't need to focus as much because I'm just taking notes on something. I'm going to listen to my ambient sounds. I'm going to set up lighting to help me see better. I'm going to clean off my space, setting the intention of creating a relaxing atmosphere instead to make a comforting and helpful work environment. And setting the intention to be that I'm going to have this type of work session and I'm going to feel this type of way instead of I'm going to get this, and this done right now. That's what I'm focusing on, and I'm not paying attention to how I feel about any of it at all. Did I just make any sense? I don't think I did. But the point is, rework your intentions. Take a breath, think to yourself, what is my intention in this moment? If you realize that your intention is not exactly what you want it to be or not the way that you want it framed, change it. Number 4 is going to seem really counterintuitive, but I'm a big proponent of it, and that's do nothing. I don't mean ignore all your responsibilities. I don't mean procrastinate. I mean genuinely give yourself a few minutes to purposefully do nothing, where the goal is just to be. I know that even when I'm relaxing, my brain is so detail-oriented that I just need a goal. So if I set the goal of doing nothing or just existing, I'm much more likely to actually relax with little to no guilt about the fact than if I just try to relax with the goal of relaxing. It doesn't work for my brain. Personally, my favorite way to do this is by just laying on the floor like a starfish. I have a ring that's a starfish. I don't know if you can see that. Based on the recommendation from my therapist that I think of what makes me happiest, I thought of laying on the floor like a starfish, and she was like, great, so a starfish is your symbol. Remember what it feels like to lay out on the floor. I did an experiment where I gave myself 5 minutes each day to purposefully do nothing. I highly recommend that video. I learned a lot from it. My life has changed completely. Seriously, set a timer, give yourself a few minutes to just stare at the ceiling or stare at the wall, with that being your only intention. Again, intentions are everywhere. And finally, and I think this is my favorite one because instead of relieving some of the stress, it's actually giving you a boost. And that is give yourself some credit. This is something that I say to myself and to people I care about all the time. When, say, I'm having thoughts, I didn't do enough today, I haven't worked hard enough to feel better, I haven't done this or that, I'm falling apart. Look yourself in the face, just like you would a friend. Say to yourself, give yourself some credit for all the things you've done. And then write a list. Write a list, not of the things you need to do, but of the things you did do. Not just tasks, but like, I remembered to drink enough water. I slept in this morning and it was good for me. I took my time getting ready. I washed my hair. All of these things, they all count. Give yourself credit for making it through because everybody's having a terrible time right now. I don't know a single person who's living their absolute best life at the present moment. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some credit. I promise if you practice this more and more often, giving yourself the credit that you deserve, it's going to help you manage. When I feel like I didn't get much done in a day, but I take a moment to give myself credit, I realize I did a lot more than I realize. I'm going based off of what my expectations were of myself before the day that I had. But I had the day I had, not the day I thought I would have. You know? So realize the day you had, realize what you did. Even if it was just making it through the day, that's enough. You're enough. You're doing more than enough. You got this. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below which of these seems like the most helpful tip to you. Throw your own best tips down in the comments so we can help each other out during this weird and wacky time. And subscribe for more reading, writing, and college lifestyle content. And until next time, bye humans, bye!